think about it, 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 think about it.
What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can pick up or you can kick it aside. Women. Nothing more beautiful than a woman. It's sad that in this country that we can't even define what a woman is. That we will subscribe to others calling themselves women. That we will befriend, have in our company, those who are not, yet accept them as a woman. You know, coming up back in the day, women used to say men exploit women. That broken record is over and gone. For it is women who exploits women. You know, when you've seen women on magazines and nudity and women in music videos shaking their tails and movies, you know, being treated and they act in positions like they are whores, and these women that are just in the public eye and carry on and behave in masculine fashions and argue and debate, and you see the women today who have taken shape and form and believe now that what damn Erica has defined as a woman, they have come to accept. I'm telling you all, we are in a bad place. Now, everybody has their own reason or their own choice in life to say what they want to be. Yet, it's funny that people are subscribing to and amening and agreeing what is actually going on. I have never, in all my 55 years, seen even women my age behave like women in their 20s. I have never seen women my age and older remain so quiet and can't even teach their own how to be a young lady. Not to beat up on women right here, but I remember, and y'all young ones, I'm sorry, you just never will understand how women were back then. Young ladies, how they carried themselves, how they respected themselves, how they could tell a man no if he pressured on her to try to get from her what he wanted and she didn't want to give up. How she stood on her belief. How if she wanted to get with you, she would say yes or no. She was a strong woman. A woman that didn't just spit off just words into the atmosphere for debate and argument. But when a woman, she spoke back then, she had powerful things to say. This whole thing that I see the women in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, 50s, it's very frightening, very unattractive. Now, I got my queen. I have my woman. And I wish that so many others, especially young ones, can be taught. Because I've said this before. Women lost their place. Black women lost their place. For women were the powerhouse in any house. In any house. You can find even in the African cultures the strong position of a woman. You know, in some African cultures, your auntie, your mother, your grandmother, what she said would be. You know, I didn't know this until I spent a little time over in some African cultures. That in some African cultures, especially in the West, you know, when it came to certain kingdoms, a king's wife could not be a queen. And the reason being was because the man's power and his tendency with the testosterone, we're known sometimes to abuse our authority. And we would take that power and put it and use it against our own wife. But what they would do would be place the mother or the aunt, whomever was the eldest, still living, in that position as a queen. Because they knew by culture, you would never override your mama or your auntie. And so, being here in damn America, that's right, put the D in front of America, capitalize the E. We live in a society, we live in a culture where women has always been nothing. You know, if you do your study and research on European culture and what was the place of women, you always found that women were always behind. Women never had a place. Women was always in the background and always remained quiet. This is why for you all who subscribe to certain scriptures and scrolls in the Bible, especially the New Testament, when it tells a woman to be quiet and has to answer to her husband, that she must cover herself and behave in submissive ways at times, that in actuality the letters were written to the Romans and the Greeks, a European culture. We have fought to fit ourselves in different cultures to be like, which hinders us from really growing and becoming who we really are. This is why we struggle in our husband and wife familyhood that's given us, because we're mimicking a culture's behavior that our DNA cannot even agree with. It will cause frustrations, argue, debate, fight, which you will find why we divorce a lot. Now, I'm not saying that over in Africa they don't have divorce, but the people I have interviewed, most divorces happen with people who have moved to the cities, who have become more westernized, who have fallen into this whole movements of Western thinking that subscribes to certain ways of life that have caused the mess ups of families. So I say to my women who scream that men are exploiting them, I ask you, who is really doing it? The actions, showing the behaviors, portraying themselves to be in these movies, magazines, music, videos, TV shows, behaving and acting outside of being a lady. I say go back to Africa, because there are great examples of how powerful a black woman really is. Think about it.
Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it.